Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on volume 6 of Twittering Birds Never Fly. And so last volume got pretty steamy, not gonna lie. Got really steamy really quick. Not that I'm complaining, of course, but lots of things happened. Domeki and Yashiro have seemingly reached an impasse. Domeki's trying to put the feelings out there. Yashiro is not accepting them. He's like, nope, which rereading that volume, because of course I was going to reread it. But Yashiro coming to the point where he's like, I don't want to see you get killed. Like, what if you get hurt? What will that do to me? And that makes a lot of sense in the fact that he wants to keep Domeki at an arm's length because he's like, if something bad happens to you, which is very likely in this world we are living in this Yakuza world, what am I going to do about that? I will suffer if I lose you. So his way of dealing and rationalizing with these feelings is, I'm just going to keep Domeki away. But as Kageyama notes, he's like, well, you love him, so why would you do that? You shouldn't do that. So it's very conflicting. Like, the whole idea of the Yakuza world and duty and romance don't normally mix very well. And we had that illustrated by the flashback of Harada with Kurobane, and Kurobane being Misumi's lover and his partner getting killed. And Kurobane had a very, very Domeki vibe to him, like a very extreme, like loyal man to Mizumi. His relationship with Mizumi was very similar to Domeki's with Yashiro. And we saw how that ended up with Harada killing him. And so it's like, the question is, does Yashiro know about Kurobane's fate and his tie with Mizumi? Is he correlating Domeki with that same thing? And he doesn't want that to happen with Domeki. Like, don't want history repeating itself. Like, there's a lot of factors there. But Harada's been stabbed. Ryuzaki's been stabbed. Nanahara's still alive. Like, it's lots of things happened. But I want to read volume 6 here, chapters 29 to 35. I got clarification on that. And then next week we will finish up where the manga currently is with volume 7, which came out earlier in this month, that covers chapters 36 through 43. And then we'll have the Don't Stay Gold OVA, and we'll have some things to tide us over while we wait on more Twittering Birds, right? We'll have more things to tide us over Twittering Birds wise. But before we start volume 6, I was told way back when I started posting these volumes, because I have recorded a little bit of ahead, because I couldn't wait to read it, that there was a side one-shot story called Tadayoda Shizumazu Sarido Naki Mosezu. And it's a flashback with Kageyama and Yashiro. And I think we get a little bit of it in the Clouds Gather movie. We get a little bit of it, but this is the one shot that correlated. And since we left volume 5 with Kageyama confronting Yashiro with the, well, don't you love Domeki line? And Yashiro being like, crap, my childhood friend is confronting me about this man that I may have feelings for, I thought it was appropriate that we start off this video looking at this volume, looking at this one shot, and then diving into volume 6. Yeah, so things are going to get crazy, I feel. I'm probably not ready for it, but you know what? Oh, well. So, let's just start, shall we? We'll start this here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ah! Oh my gosh! This volume was so long. Like, y'all, I've been on here for like an hour and 40 minutes reading this volume. That was such a long volume. But oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. So, where do you even start? It's so twisted. The whole Harada thing. So I guess Harada's dead. I'm guessing, but man, kudos to Yashiro for the ploy to get Harada to confess everything, and it's so twisted because I don't think that Harada was ever in love with Mizumi. I think he is. I think Harada is homophobic, and he is like very much against gay people, as he expresses. But I don't think that Harada loved Mizumi. I think it was just that Harada, he said that ever since a kid, things had been stolen from him. And he knew the Yakuza, and his idea of the Yakuza is, okay, well, we steal from others, just like people have stolen from us. So for him, it's kind of like a reverse Robin Hood thing where he's like, I'm going to get back to the people that stole from me, but I'm going to take from them, sort of thing. And in its own twisted way. And so he saw Mizumi, he kind of idolized Mizumi as, okay, this is the man that I respect. He's the head of this, he's going to become the head of this organization. When the elder man dies, he's going to take over the reins of the Daoshinkei. And I respect him and I admire him and like put him on this pedestal. And he's like, if I work my way up the system, he thinks it's like a ladder. And Harada's like, if I just work my way up the ladder, I will eventually become Mizumi's second-hand man and be able to stand atop the world beside him. And then when Kurobane comes along, who he describes as, Kurobane is this kind, gentle, loyal soul, like Domeki, very much like Domeki, but Kurobane is this kind, gentle soul that Mizumi latched onto and basically became like family to him and became his second man. Then Harada was just so distraught and was like, but this doesn't follow the Yakuza formula. This Kurobane guy isn't following the standard that I thought was how it worked. And now he's in my way and I can't get noticed. Notice me, senpai. Harada is like, notice me, senpai, to Mizumi so hardcore that he literally killed a man to try to get him to notice him. And it didn't work. Mizumi instead found Yashiro, and Yashiro became his new Kurobane. And then Harada's like, why can't you just acknowledge me? And so he went through all of this ploying and all this plot to get Yashiro out of the picture, to get where he wanted. And it just got foiled. And Yashiro foiling it with the confession. And Mizumi in those last couple of chapters, holy cow. Mizumi. Like, and in the end, Mizumi wasn't going to give him what he wanted. Harada wanted to be noticed, and Mizumi was like, no. I'm not going to kill you myself. I'm not going to dirty my hands. I'm not even going to acknowledge you, because that's what you want. I'm going to make one of my subordinates go out and kill you and just leave your body where it can be found. So, I mean, there's that no body, no death thing. So I'm like, it didn't say Harada, it just said Yakuza corpse found. So I'm like, did Harada actually die? Did Harada die? Or did the other guy die? We aren't given that knowledge. And the thing is, Yashiro wouldn't know because Yashiro's been temporarily kicked out. Like, and it makes sense that Mizumi's like, look, Yashiro, you've taken a lot of heat for all this. And even though we gave that confession to the Gouda group, they're still probably going to be after you, so you need to distance yourself from me for a while. While Mizumi handles all the paperwork and all the legalities of taking over this Yakuza group, he's like, Yashiro, you need to distance yourself just a little bit. So I love that he takes Sugimoto and Nanahara with him and is like, okay, cool. We'll just go lie low for a while. But the whole amnesia thing, that's such a crock. That's such a lie. And we'll get to that in a second. But just Yashiro, his idea is that he's like, nothing ever works out for me, and I don't want people around me to get hurt, so I'm just going to push them as far away from me as possible, and that's how we're going to solve this. And so he pushes Domeki away. And it's like, come on, just, ah! And at the end, like that whole thing in the airport chapters, those were so hard and so sad because you're like, you just want them to be together and he's just pulling them apart. And then Domeki, even with 2-shot legs, still goes after him and tries to save him. And Yashiro snaps and beats Harada with the rock because he saw Domeki getting hurt. And it's like, it's love, damn it. You two are just too stubborn. And then, oh my God. And then just the whole thing with the amnesia, and then on the rooftop with Nanahara and Domeki realizing, because Nanahara is saying the words like, Domeki's always had sex, and for him it's not something that he ties with being pleasurable. It's like he just can't stop. And for a moment it seems like Domeki's realizing, maybe it seems like Domeki's thinking, did I contribute to him being hurt? Did I contribute to hurting Yashiro-san by making him have sex with me? Because in the moment, Domeki's like, this is my one chance. I'm going to do it. Thinking that it's going to turn things around and Yashiro's going to instantly fall in love with him and then he's just going to let Domeki into his life. But Nanahara's right. Yashiro associates sex in a painful way. So for Domeki, it's like, in that moment, it just looked like on Domeki's face, he's like, oh my god, did I contribute to this? Am I contributing to hurting him by making him go through with even more of that? So, I know we have Volume 7, so stuff clearly happens, but it's like, what is Domeki going to do? Because even though he was with his sister and his mom, he was put on them black gloves at the end, so I'm like, I don't think Domeki's out of the Yakuza world yet. I don't think that he is. At all. I'm curious to know where the heck that's going. But it looks like Yashiro with the big giant cockatiel and Nanahara then being like, why do you have this giant bird that just talks? It's like, It's probably based on how Volume 5 went down and based on all of the stuff that went down this volume. It's probably a good thing if Yashiro and Domeki take a little bit of time apart, because that way they can kind of distance themselves and breathe, because they both literally nearly died for each other again. So it's probably good that they're taking like a moment to just chill and be cool. But oh my gosh, I love Nanahara and Sugimoto together with Yashiro, like these two bumbling idiots. Like I love both of them, but Nanahara is not wrong in understanding Yashiro just a little bit. And then there's Kageyama. Yashiro asking Kageyama, like, why didn't you love me? And Kageyama's like, we're asking this now? And I'm glad I read that first chapter with them and their backstory. And Kageyama kind of hints at it. He's like, I don't love you, though. You're like family to me, and I love you like a brother, but I'm just not attracted to you. And that's such a real thing. It's the worst thing for Yashiro, because Yashiro's like, we could have this fairy tale ending, Kageyama. You and I, we're friends, childhood friends to lovers. Isn't that the way it's supposed to work? But Kageyama's like, no, this is the real world, and I'm just not attracted to you, and I'm attracted to Kuga. And that's just how it is. It's just how it goes. And it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's like, that's just the way it works. And it's like, that's so realistic. Like, just because you want someone to love you doesn't mean that they necessarily are. And I think that as Yashiro is going through that with Kageyama, realizing that he can't make Kageyama love him, Domeki's kind of realizing that with Yashiro. He's like, I love Yashiro, but I can't make him love me. And he thinks that he loves him. He thinks Yashiro loves him, but he can't make him admit it. So I think that the idea that they both go their separate ways for a little while to let Yashiro kind of sort things out is a good thing. I hate it because part of me is like, I want them to be back together and for them to confess to each other. Dang it. You pretty much confess to each other in the airport at the end there by bashing a man's head in for one another. If that's not a love confession in this story, I don't know what is. But, oh my gosh, you guys. This was just so good. This is a long volume, and there's a lot that happened. MISUMI, man, and Amao, and the niece that they were protecting all this time for Kurobane. And I feel like I understand Harada's character. Harada's character is pretty straightforward at this point, but... And then there's this weird... The Sunakawa guy is super sketch. Like, he just has this smug look about him. He looks super sketchy and like a slithery snake, and I don't like him. I can already tell I don't like him. So I'm like, how's this gonna work? You guys, I am really, really excited to get into Volume 7. As I record this, I'm recording this way ahead of time because I couldn't wait. I had to record these. As I'm recording this, Volume 7 just came out. So the site that I've looked up and watched these reactions to, the site that I've looked it up only goes up to chapters 36, which I'm really sad because Volume 7 is chapters 36 to 43. So I'm going to have to go around and see if I can find some English translations of Volume 7. And once I do that, then I'll react to it. And after Volume 7, we'll take a little bit of a switch. But hopefully Never Stay Gold comes around too, or Don't Stay Gold comes out, and I can watch that too and react to it, because I really like Kuga and Kageyama as a couple, and I want to see more of their backstory animated. So yeah, so we still got Volume 7, guys. My interests are peaked for sure. I can't wait. I'm so excited. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you all so much for watching this reaction. Please feel free to comment down below. Please no spoilers about Volume 7, because I want to go into that one and see what ends up happening. But let me know what you thought about this volume. What a ride. What just there were no sexy times in this volume because we had to get down to business. And that's all right. The drama was still so good. But this video is almost 2 hours long, guys. So insanity, but I love it. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, next week, guys, Volume 7 of Twittering Birds Never Fly. See you guys then. Bye.